whenever a new chief of a political party assumed power in Kerala, they used to undertake a journey across the state. Those journeys would start from Kasaragod at the northernmost end of the state and would end at Thiruvananthapuram, the state capital, where a huge meeting would be held. National leaders of the party would attend the meeting. During the journey across the state, those leaders would hold meetings at all district headquarters and other important places. They would interact with even people from different sections across the society. Then they would build their own networks within the party and the outside. They would befriend media. So that used to be the practice earlier. But after Rajeev Chandrasekhar assumed office, he struck a different note. He began with, development seminars across the state. In Malayalam, it is named as Vikasita Keralam seminars. Of course, that is an innovative idea, no doubt about that. But how effective would those be? The answer is it depends on a variety of factors. I don't think it is going to make any radical changes in Kerala politics. And whether it would be enough to catapult the BJP to power depends on many factors, as I said. One important factor is, the development idea which will be conveyed by the BJP. There is a well-entrenched narrative in Kerala that Kerala is number one in development, especially when it comes to human development. For example, in education, healthcare, other areas, etc. So, how Rajeev Chandrasekhar will be going to counter that narrative? This narrative is created by the left ecosystem. And, like every state, Keralites have got a sort of pride in that narrative. So how Rajeev Chandrasekhar is going to counter that, this is going to be important. The second aspect is, every state in India has got an industrial cluster, but not Kerala. You go to Tamil Nadu, for example, Tirupur, Erode belt, you would find a hosiery, a knitwear making belt. At Chennai, there is an automobile manufacturing area near Sriperumbudur. If you go to Bangalore, there are, electronic industries, software industries. Even states like, West Bengal have got their own industrial clusters, but not Kerala. Kerala had industrial clusters in the past. For example, Alappuzha was a cluster of coir industry. Kollam was a cluster of cashew industry. They are no more. So it makes it difficult for Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar to strike a chord with a certain section of people. So this is the second aspect. Now the third aspect is how well he is going to use communication tools to strike a chord with the public. How well he is going to use media, social media, how is he going to word the message, how is he going to realize the imaginations of Kerala youth, how is he going to win over them. This is another important factor. There are so many factors. I have, paucity of time. I need to conclude this video in around 10 minutes. So in that limited time, I would like to discuss certain issues. So let's begin with what I started. How Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekhar is going to shape the development narrative, the idea of development. Let's start from there. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. As I said, there is a sort of pride in Kerala that Kerala is the most developed state when it comes to human development index. For example, the literacy rate is very high. Health standards, for example, child mortality rate or health of women. So many factors, so many aspects. Kerala is on a par with many developed countries. So, without wounding the pride of Keralites, how is Rajeev Chandrasekhar going to introduce his idea about the problems of Kerala? He has already done that. I have noted that at many places. He spoke about the current strike of ASHA workers in Kerala, about the delay in payments to KSRTC employees, Kerala State Transport Corporation employees, then the current financial crisis of the state. Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar has spoken about all those aspects. Those things he has done. But at the same time, I have not seen whether he has spoken about the huge outflow of students from Kerala, then other developmental questions Kerala faces. As I said earlier, Kerala had industrial clusters in the past. For example, Alapura and Kollam. At those two places, hundreds of thousands of workers were engaged in those industries. Cashew industry, I think at its peak in say 1950s, etc., it used to employ around 5 lakh people, more than 5 lakh people. The same was with the choir industry in Alapura. But those two areas, are a pale shadow of their former self. I think Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar needs to invoke the past. So invoke the prosperity of the region, how people used to go to work. There was a culture in those areas related to those industries. Every industrial city has got a culture, its own culture. For example, if you go to knitwear industry areas like Erode, Coimbatore, then then you would find that people there is an entire ecosystem there. There will be factories which directly employs people. There will be ancillary industries. There will be middlemen who engage with the workers. Then there will be financiers who lend money to the industrialists as well as workers. So many type of activities will be there focused on the main industry. So Kerala doesn't have any such place. There is tourism industry at some places, but you cannot compare. A few hundreds of people are maybe employed there, but it's not like employing lakhs of people. So it's entirely different. So that work culture is not there. So Rajiv Chandrasekhar will have to use a different, imageries, different language, different, concepts. So this is where I said, when you tell people about the lack of development of Kerala, naturally the pride of Keralites will be wounded. So without wounding the pride of Keralites, without hurting their feelings, he will have to remind them that the development which they witness is out of remittance, and that's not good. That is not something permanent. Already Kerala is facing the impact of decrease in remittances. Kerala is not the number one state anymore when it comes to remittances. Places like Kottayam district, Pathanamthitta district, where huge amount used to come as remittances, they all have changed. The demography has changed. The society has changed. So this is going to affect the society. What I mean is that Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar needs to discuss the practical impact of this remittance based economy and how Kerala needs to change that. Now he has to connect people. This is what I mean. Emotionally you have to link economy and problems of economy. So he needs to use the jargons or vocabulary of the common man. For example, Kerala was once famous. Kerala got its name from coconuts that grow here. But if you look at the value added products made out of coconuts, the role of Kerala is very poor. Many Keralites work in Gulf, but all those coconut based value added products available in the Gulf, they come from countries like Malaysia, Thailand and other parts of Southeast Asia, not from Kerala. So he need to remind Keralites about the plight of uh, our state. Again, when it comes to paddy, rice is the staple food of Keralites, but Kerala imports rice from other states. So I think Rajiv Chandrasekhar need to invoke all these imageries and needs to convince the public. So already he has done something. For example, he pointed out that while Apple Industries had invested thousands of crores in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka at places just 500 kilometers away from Kerala, Kerala has not received a single pie. When foreign investors come and try to select states for investment, Kerala is not on their radar. So Rajiv Chandrasekhar needs to point out all those things. These are areas he needs to work on. Then when it comes to, as I said, messaging or how to coining phrases, so I think there also he needs to work. For example, if he wants to win over the imagination of the youth, he needs to address the problems faced by the youth. For example, I think as part of developed Kerala seminars, he needs to organize youth seminars, student seminars, where experts from immigration or experts from education sector need to come and sit with students or parents and need to raise issues that affect them. So if that becomes a new public discourse, Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar will be able to control the public discourse that way. Otherwise, if he says about how Prime Minister Narendra Modi has brought development in other states, of course that is true. I agree that, for example, in defense industry, in electronics industry, semiconductor industry, there are even in toy manufacturing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the India government have done many things, but simply you need to connect that with the imagination of Keralites. Then only I think locally that message will be sent. Just reading out a list of industries or a list of industries that have come up in other states, people are not going to listen, and the local pride will be wounded. This is one problem. It happens anywhere. If you go to Gujarat or any Uttar Pradesh, they have got many positive aspects. If you point out certain negative aspects of those states, I am sure that they are not going to accept your concept, however relevant they are. Similarly, if you go to Tamil Nadu and tell something about the importance of learning Hindi, that I am sure that is not going to be accepted. The same is there in Karnataka also. So you need to project the advantages of Kerala. You need to convince the people about those areas where they are laggards, or then you need to capture their imagination with some solid programs. You need to discuss their problems. You need to give them solutions also. If Rajiv Chandrasekhar is able to do that, connecting BJP's campaign with the issues of the public, I mean with the issues of the state economy, the state agricultural sector, the state's education sector, etc., then I think he will be able to strike a chord. Then there is going to be it will force people to introspect, and that is going to help the BJP politically also. Let's see how the whole campaign is progressing. I will meet you with updates, and till then, goodbye.